first of all, in the region, we've been experiencing a huge growth percentages in terms of online payment. Right now, the region is growing by 45% year over year, compared to other regions like Europe is growing by 20% year over year, and 15% year over year in North America. So we know that the traction is coming online from the demand side. If you look at the consumer base in the Arab world, it's a young population with on-demand services. The millennial generation demands faster services. They want it now rather than waiting for days, and that's, of course, has an impact on fintech and financial services. And and payment is no exception to that as well. They want to get something with the least amount of friction, and that's where we've been working on in the last few years to develop our products, not only for today, but to develop our products for what's coming next, which is the convergence onto the on-demand economy. If you look at from the supply side or the merchant side or the vendor side, you find that those merchants are trying to minimize the friction from the consumer base in terms of the checkout process, and that requires a lot of technological change in order for us to adapt to the different channels that are being adopted, whether it's a mobile channel or just by simply checking in into a place, and you can use your facial recognition for payment. Another thing that fintech predominantly is changing in the behavior of both merchants and consumers is the fact that you don't pay salaries anymore to someone who works, but there's a revenue or stream of income, and that concept is changing services around us completely. From as someone, I graduated, I might not have one employer, I might have 3 or 4 or 5 employers. I drive for a company like Kareem. I can design logos and become a copywriter for someone like Nebbish. I can use my skills around the house for an application like Swifix. So all of these services allows the end user or an individual to create a stream of income for them, and of course that stream of income has payment, because you need to make the payment between the vendor, the merchant, and of course to the person that they're being used to fulfill that service. So I think in the next couple of years we'll see a huge convergence and a lot of new marketplace business models that will contribute to customers receiving services and products much quicker. That also includes financial services, and of course everything else that we've been experiencing. And also you'll see a big change in how customers are transacting from the traditional credit card present, mobile point of sale or a point of sale transaction or cash on delivery into other financial instruments. If you look at the Arab world today, our banked population or credit card population is pretty low compared to the rest of the world. I think we're around 20% versus the rest of the world is around 50%. So that is not a challenge, it's more of an opportunity to a lot of the financial institutions and a lot of the fintech companies that we see them coming up in various markets to address the issue of the banked population in the Arab world on the payment side, but also on the lending side. If you look at the informal economy in the region, it's pretty significant, and if you look at a country like Egypt, 70% of the informal economy the formal economy represents actually around 70% of employment in Egypt. So how do you offer advantages or incentives for the employers and the employees to enter into the formal economy? Because that would have a significant financial health, not only on the individual and the merchant, but it would have a significant financial health on the country. For example, Egypt last year lost around 300 billion Egyptian pounds in taxable income. That 300 billion would solve Egyptian problems for years to come. So I think fintech and payment is a real opportunity for convergence to enable companies and end users to actually transact from on-demand and marketplace models. So I think the utopian era that we're looking for will change a lot of things. One is, source of income, the time that I have that I can contribute to many things that would make me money as a source of income, or as a user using those marketplaces and on-demand services. And of course, money and fintech and payment is right in the middle of it, because there's a wealth. There has to be a transfer of wealth between one party to the other, and I think it's a very exciting time for PAYFORT to be in that space today.